we are here to celebrate Lou Rita, the American table, right?
Yes.
Congratulations, Small
Thank you very
Business of
much.
the Month.
Thank you very much.
And Kristen, you're the vice chair of the committee for the Small Business Committee, and so we're going to have a great time with him today. You've got some incredible food that you're going to be preparing for us later on, right?
Yes.
We're going to be sure and tease so everybody stays and watches that.
Stay in tune.
And I can't wait to eat it, so.
Well, you'll have to come in to eat it, but yes.
Well, it's always there's always so much energy in your restaurant, Lou, and as we've been around you and seen you cooking and whatnot, it comes from you. I mean, you are such an inspiration.
I love what I do, and every day I get up and look forward to coming to work and working with Chef, and I get to work side by side with my wife, and we all make it work. And I've got a great staff that try hard every day, and that's all I can ask for. So we got a community that's on board now, very supportive of what we're doing. We're almost 2 years now open, and we had to kind of change some minds when we first started on what's possible food-wise in our town of Rocky Mount. We're different than what this town has been used to. They would go to Raleigh or they'd go to Tarboro or Wilson to eat like this.
Or barbecue. Oh, to eat like this.
To eat like
just
this,
eat barbecue.
and we kind of had to change the mentality of the customer on what's possible. What can we do here? It doesn't matter where here is. If we're all trying real hard and using cool stuff and working at it, then a little bit of magic happens. And
but Lou,
I think we've gotten that.
If anybody could do it, you could, because you care about this community. You have been here.
Yeah.
You have put down family roots here. You raised your children here.
Yeah.
This is your third place you've been, but we all celebrated when you have your own restaurant
Finally got
here.
the doors open.
Let's go to the presentation of the banner from the chamber, and we'll be right back.
Yeah, let's do that.
I'm Roger Taylor, chair of the Rocky Mount Area Chamber of Commerce, and we're on Sunset Avenue today, celebrating with Kristen Brabble, Lou Rita, employees, ambassadors, and many people on the selection of Lou Rita's an American table. And the celebration because they are Small Business of the Month for the month of August, and we celebrate with them. And I'm going to ask Kristen Brabble, Vice Chair of the Small Business Committee of the Chamber.
Thank you, Roger. Well, Lou Rita, I just want to congratulate you on behalf of the Small Business Committee. We are so excited that you have received this award, the August Winner of the Month. There's a few of us standing around here today. We're in your restaurant yesterday eating. I know Roger and I were one of them.
Secret shopping?
Yeah. Yes, it was such an amazing experience. It was one of the many times I've been in, but the first time I've had the meatball sub, so I can attest it was great. So I'm going to turn it back over to Roger now.
Okay. Lou, how about telling us a little about where you are and how I hope you're excited about this selection.
Very excited about it. And as you know, no business, big or small, they're only as good as their employees are, because I don't wait tables, and right now I'm not cooking food. So I have a phenomenal staff that have tried very hard from day one to get it right. And as you guys have eaten and drank with me, they have done a good job in getting it right. And so it's all of their hard work that really helped get us to this point we are today, and great management staff and a wonderful wife, if she's here or not. Carol's somewhere. All right.
End of the table.
Yeah, there we go. And it's a full effort, and Chef Justin has also been a big help in getting us to where we are. So we're just glad to be here.
Well, we congratulate you because Rocky Mount is made up of a lot of small businesses, and the food business is a tough one to make it in, and you're doing well, and the citizens appreciate it. And you are one of 11 that will be selected, and in June of 2016, we have the Small Business Banquet, and you'll be in the running for Small Business of the Year. So we congratulate you and your team.
Well, that'd be wonderful. Thank you all very much. And thanks for showing up and all your support. We really do appreciate it. Thank you.
Wow, there were just a lot of people out there cheering you on.
A lot of support.
Yes, we are so happy that you chose to open your restaurant here. I mean, how does it make you feel to have everyone just rallied behind you?
It feels good. You spend a long time in the community being involved, different boards and different organizations trying to help your community be better. And not that, you want to leverage that into a successful business, but you want to kind of feel that things you've done have gone noticed, and that at least they'll give you a try. You know, I can't make them like the food or like the atmosphere, but because of all I've done, I'd like to think they'd at least given me the opportunity to see if they can, you know, make this a place they're willing to come and support, and they have, and it's been a win-win.
And the ambience of the restaurant, I mean, it's really neat.
Yeah.
It's got all this antique wood. It's got pictures of your daughter eating a hamburger over there on the wall.
And
So-
somebody that works for me, their kids are on the wall, and Mr. Pappas, a good friend of the family's here. Yeah, it's got a lot of that old touch, but it's modern and it's cool. And I just wanted something where you walked in the door and you went, wow, I'm not in Rocky Mount anymore, you know, and get them to kind of wipe that slate clean and look at a menu with fresh eyes. You know, look at a drink menu and look for something other than what they typically get.
And you've created a lot of jobs too.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
I currently have over 40 employees.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Was this a lifelong dream?
Yeah. Pretty much. When I first started washing dishes, I was 28 years old, quit my day job within 2 months, and said, this is where I'm supposed to be. And from then, you're always like, well, one day I want to have my own. And of course, like any business, you got to learn, you know, you got to learn the systems that'll make you successful, and you have to have the passion to kind of follow you through the years to get to that vision. So I was 52, I guess, when I finally got this open.
But most restaurants fail. I'm sure you know the statistics. But you already had an established reputation of excellence and really good food in this community.
Yeah, I did, but that was only going to give me an opportunity.
Right.
It wasn't going to make it work no matter what. If my service wasn't stellar, my staff wasn't great, the food wasn't exceptional, then we're just another average restaurant struggling with everybody else. So, you know, we knew, or I knew, it had to be something special. And I just wanted to do something different and unique. And it's an American table, so I can do whatever I want. You know, I'm not kind of tied into any one type of cuisine. And so I can give everybody a little bit of everything. And so that's really great.
When you go to another restaurant, what is your experience like? I mean, how much are you critiquing them?
It's a heavy critique every time, and it's just in a competitive nature. What are you doing right, and what are you not doing right? What can I learn from this experience, either good or bad? You know, and we talked about on the plate. What's it look like on the plate? You know, and so it's difficult, and I've made it difficult for my family. And anybody that works for me for any length of time has also ruined that experience for them to a certain extent. But that's a great question.
We're going to go in the bar in just a minute, but I do want to let you comment on the, we're going to go in the kitchen, but I want you to comment on the bar because you really have put a lot of time into the syrups for your drinks and stuff.
Everything like the kitchen is from scratch. Our strawberry syrup or simple syrup was strawberries yesterday. Blueberries, blackberry, cardamom, everything that gets poured at the bar was fresh fruit yesterday or fresh syrup yesterday, and it was all fresh. So the same commitment we made to the front and back. So our drinks just, they taste better. It's not a syrup, it's fruit that's in your drink. Yeah.
All right, well, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we will
Great.
be in the kitchen.
Thank
Can't
you.
wait.
So one of the dishes we want to highlight, it's on our new menu. Real quick, tell you about our menu. We're doing our menus printed in-house now. So every handful of weeks we can change it up. We could get whatever's freshest on the market and get it to the table as quick as we can. We've hung some chalkboards. We'll get some pictures of those later. And we're constantly going through new items, new ideas, trying to get everybody in the kitchen involved in executing some new ideas. This is one of our dishes. It's called the seafood moscata, and it's jumbo scallops, jumbo shrimp. It's going to have a lobster claw in it, some clams, and some mussels. And we sear those off real quick, and we get them a nice char on them, nice caramelized color on the scallops. And everybody kind of goes into the pool with that, and we cook that off, and we add some things to it, some fresh herbs. And our butter is it's a lemongrass and herb butter that we make that we put in there, and then we add a little chimichurri to that at the end, because the chimichurri that we make, and most chimichurris, loaded with flavor, fresh herbs, olive oil, and it really kicks that dish up a lot. So you get all of that herb deliciousness. It's a pasta dish too. It's very Mediterranean, and then you get the lemongrass butter underneath. You get that creamy texture on it, and then you get all those beautiful fresh herbs right on the top of it. And it's been one of our best sellers. So we're kind of hesitant to move that around a little bit, but part of why we want to change the menu up often is to get people to try new things. You know, we got rid of some items that people have been hounding us to bring back, but they always find something else to eat. And then they go, oh, you know, I like that too. So now they've got another reason to come see us. Or, you know, they always got the steaks here, and then we drop the filet, and they're like, oh, I want the filet. And, you know, and then all of a sudden we do the New York strip, and we've got a beautiful goat cheese and Merlot butter on that, like a schmear. And we put some herbs on that, herb breadcrumbs, and we brown that up nice and crisp. And out it goes, and they're like, wow, this is awesome. And think about, you wouldn't have tried it. If you came in and saw the same thing every time, you wouldn't try it. The other thing we're putting together for you is our fresh caprese salad. We do it with fried green tomatoes. We use burrata, which is fresh mozzarella put together, and then we fold, there's cream kind of folded inside of that. So when you cut that cheese, that little ball of cheese, on the inside what you get is fresh cream. And so it's really delicious. It's very rich. Fresh basil, balsamic essence. We use a little salad we toss in that. And of course, fresh mozzarella isn't fresh mozzarella without fresh basil.
Right.
So of course, we put the fresh basil on that as well.
Go ahead.
How do you come up with all of this stuff? I mean,
Well-
how does that menu change?
Well, part of that is we're not reinventing the wheel. We all love to eat, and Chef has so much experience. And I'm 54 and have been eating out for an awfully long time and grew up in an Italian restaurant. Chef has been to the CIA twice. He's worked in New York and in Alabama. That's where we kind of found each other, was in Alabama. He's been to Atlanta. He does a lot of private chefing, and we read and we eat. And every time we get a dish, and I can't speak for Chef, but I know he does the same thing. I get it, no matter how wonderful it is, I go, how would I do that dish? And if it could be improved, then you look at it and go, what could be better about it? And then you file that away. And then a month from now, we'll go, we're putting together a caprese salad, and that's typically a vine-ripened tomato. Well, everybody does that. So what can we do to make it different? So we'll use the fried green tomatoes, because we're in the middle of tomato season. They're the best. They're the sweetest. They're the best they're going to be right now. So that's what we try to do, is we'll do that. How can we do it differently? Our spin on it. Peaches are in season. When we're out of the fried green tomatoes, we're going to do a fresh peach. And burrata mozzarella or fresh mozzarella caprese salad. And so instead of the tomato, you've got fresh peaches. So there's a lot of things you can do once you really train yourself to get outside the box on items. So you take comfort food, which is really what we're doing. Take our pork chop, for instance. It's a pork chop. Everybody has pork chops. Well, we brine ours. So no matter how you cook it, it's very moist. And we infuse that meat with flavor. And it's sherry vinegar, and it's herbs, and it's garlic. So every bite doesn't taste like a regular pork chop. It's an enhanced kind of eating on that. And then at the bottom of the plate, we did kimchi, because it's cabbage. And cabbage and pork chops go together great. So basically, it's applesauce, cabbage, and pork. But how can we do it differently? So we brine the pork chop, we turn the cabbage into kimchi, which is fermented cabbage. It's a little on the spicy side. And we make our homemade applesauce on the bottom. So it's an elevated dish, but basically it's comfort food. It's pork chop and cabbage. So those are the kind of how you got to think about things to get them on a plate. And Chef and I talk food all the time, and kicking ideas off each other. And that's how we come up with a lot of the things we do.
And that Chef you're talking about, the one who's cooking for us right now, is Chef. Okay.
That's JC. He's a
JC,
sous.
okay.
Jermaine's rolling around here somewhere.
Okay.
He's a senior sous. There he is, right behind you.
Okay.
We'll get him on the front end. I'm sorry, that first dish he put together was the pesto. Was the shrimp pesto. Take it down there and let him get a good look at that one. Added that. because who doesn't love pesto?
Oh yeah.
You know, and
Excellent.
it wasn't on our original menu. We got a lot of requests for it, and again, it's herbs, it's basil, it's nuts, it's extra virgin olive oil, pecorino cheese, and all blended real nice. And then we throw it in, splash of cream, the farfalle pasta, and then those big shrimp, and then a little of roasted red peppers for some color and flavor, because who doesn't like roasted red peppers?
Oh, everybody does. I was in here and had the Capri salad the other night, and y'all we wanted a little protein, so you put a couple of the scallops, caramelized scallops on
Beautiful.
it. The lady who was taking care of us said we could have shrimp, chicken, or scallops, and boy, scallops were
I bet scallops went
and there
crazy
was not
good with that.
a touch of anything left on our plates. It was fabulous.
We get a lot of empty plates here. Our dish guy doesn't have to work that hard scrubbing plates. Our guests do an awful lot of that for us. I don't know if you could peek over and take a look at that seafood moscata. It's got that lobster claw in the middle of that dish right there.
Beautiful.
Very neat.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
And Lou, the presentation is always so nice
Well,
too.
yeah, and I credit Chef for a lot of that. I was always, and this is really old school, is it all on the plate and is it all right? And if it's all correct and it's all on the plate, then what more do you need? And then Chef comes along, he's like, Lou, that's so old school. This is how we build plates. And you see a dish like that versus how I used to do dishes, and it hits you. You do eat with your eyes first. If you see something and you go, that's going to be delicious, then it's probably delicious even before you eat it. And it kind of helps the dining experience. And we get a lot of compliments on our plating. And it's simple to execute. It's very difficult to think it through. So we spend a lot of time doing that. And Chef has a knack for that. You know, I have things that I'm naturally good at. And plating is really where he excels. So as good as his food is, and as much as he's helped me with my food, plating is Chef's really his forte.
But I can tell that you push everybody to excel in what they're best
Always,
at.
always. And that's why I tell people at orientation, I'm a very difficult person to work for, but I'm very fair, I'm very compassionate. You'll have a ton of fun working here. We'll laugh all the time. You just got to be ready to work hard. That's all I ask, is every day you work hard. Are you better today than you were yesterday? And if the answer is yes, we're good. We're plating up over there. It's our pork belly. And so we're in Eastern North Carolina, so who doesn't like pork belly? And that's oyster barbecue on the plate. And what we're plating right now is lychee jam. And lychee fruit is, if you know, familiar with the lychee fruit? Kind of tastes a little like a pear. In texture, it's not quite as sweet, almost a little citrusy as well. So we chop those up real good, some sugar, some of the lychee juice syrup, cilantro, garlic, ginger, and then we reduce it down into a jam, just like you would make really any kind of jam. You know, you add your sugar, and the sugar reduces everything into a thick consistency.
You make all of your sauces, jams, syrups, everything from scratch.
Everything is made from scratch, 100%. Barbecue sauce we make from scratch. We roast our own veal bones for demi-glaze. It's a 2-day process for basically 5 gallons of brown stock, but it's our commitment to quality. And I learned a long time ago, and we talked about this before, that your level of success is really determined by your commitment to quality. You know, if you draw the line on what you're willing to do quality-wise and pay for an ingredient, then you're only going to be so good. Now, sometimes you can't afford to go, you know, I can't bring truffles in because I can't sell truffles. You know, so it's truffle oil or truffle salt. There's other ways to get that flavor without having to go spend $80 an ounce on a mushroom. And that's some of the challenges sometimes. And that's the pork belly right there. And so she's going to finish plating that up, and then maybe later on we can taste some.
Oh, I would love that. How about you, Kristen?
Nice. Yes. Well, we spice our own nuts. There's mixed nuts that are going to go on that plate, and they're spiced. And that's a great sort of example of Chef and I working together. We wanted to change up the pork belly. We'd been using a soy base, balsamic plate paint. We used tomato jam, herb mascarpone cheese, and it ate kind of like a deconstructed bacon and cream cheese sandwich. And it was great, but we're heading into the spring, needs to be lighter. So he's like, lychee jam, that's what I want to do. From the beginning, he wanted to do that. And then we thought about the oyster barbecue. So we changed how we cooked how we braised the pork bellies to get a different flavor profile that would work better with the oyster barbecue than the balsamic vinegar. And then we were like, we need something else for the plate for the crunch. We don't have a crouton anymore. And I said, spiced nuts. And then he thought, wow, that's great. Love spiced nuts. But neither of us had really ever made them before. So he made a batch, and I made a batch. And then I remembered I had an Aunt Emma from Italy who used to make spiced nuts and honey nuts for Thanksgiving and Easter. So I started thinking about being in that kitchen as a kid, what I saw her doing. And one of the things was she would always toss them in an egg white first. And then what was in that. And so I started from there and built it out. And we got the nuts that we have now, with cardamom and coriander and all of these really beautiful spices. You could actually eat them kind of by themselves.
Are the egg whites kind of the what makes things stick to it, like sugar or
Yeah,
whatever?
yeah.
The
And it
adhesive.
gives it a different texture too, other than just tossing it in a, in a syrup or something. And it gives it a flavor and a texture that you don't get from anything but an egg white. And so they eat differently. And that's part of the cool thing of what we do is you get it on a plate and you want them to eat it and go, what's that? Well, that's really cool. I've never tasted that. There's something in there that's unfamiliar to them but pleasing. So you get them talking about their food, thinking about the food, and then they come in and go, boy, I've been thinking about that dish all week. And that's part of how you, I don't know, condition or train people to kind of elevate their own eating experience. Is first you got to give them something on a plate they really want to pay attention to. And you start with, how does it look? Wow, that looks great. What's in it? And you eat it and go, that's a little different. It's pesto, but, that's a pork chop. But, what else is in there?
And you come out and talk to people too while they're eating.
Oh, as
and
many
that's
as I
really
can.
fun because we can ask questions and it's
Well,
really
I get a
nice
lot
to-
of questions all the time, but I want to make sure everybody's dining experience was great. And if it wasn't, I want some feedback on it. I know we get a lot of foodies because of the plating we do, the ingredients we use are very unique to our area anyway. And so people want to talk about those things. And so I want to be there to help them with that. The foodies are also really good because they're honest about food without being overly judgmental. So I'll tell you, I like that, but I was disappointed in this. And I don't have an ego, and Chef doesn't, about the food. It's food. It's the best we can do. If you can help me make it better, I'm all ears. And we get a lot of ideas from customers and talking
that's good.
to
That's
people
very good.
and reading and listening to what people say to each other about our food. And so, that's kind of the thought that goes into the day, every day here at Lou Redas.
Okay, great.
Well, I know where I'm eating dinner tonight.
Wow.
That was some amazing cooking back
Thank you.
there.
I've got a
Great job.
great staff
You did.
that
And they've
try
got
to
a
get
great
it
leader.
right
Great leader.
do.
all the time. Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
one
thank
of the criteria for to win the Small Business of the Month is being a big community supporter. And we know that you do that, but I would just love for you to tell everybody what it is that you do, the big umbrella that you wear.
Well, I don't. That's a difficult thing for me to talk about, and I know people say that, but right now I'm on the board of the United Way, and that's been a little bit of a challenge. I had a knee surgery and I missed some stuff, but they're glad to have me, and it's a great organization. I'm glad to be there, and we're going to maybe be doing something
Right.
there. Soon we'll have a big announcement maybe. But I've done communities and schools. I try to help that organization. I've been on the board of the Boys and Girls Club through the years. I've helped the Red Cross. Basically, I've always tried to never say no, to figure out a way I can help, whether it's a small donation or hauling all the grills out and really making a difference. We've done soccer leagues. The list is endless, through the years, but it's important. Every business that relies on a community for their business ought to just feel responsible for making that a better place to be. My kids are in this community. Why wouldn't I want it to be a better place and have those organizations thrive, not only when my kids are there, but beyond. Those things are important.
Lou, you are such a perfect example of why we love Rocky Mount.
Absolutely.
Because people here
Thank
who
you.
are local businesses like yours, I don't know what we do without you. I mean, you have just poured your whole heart into being here for us and making your home here and doing great things for us. And we are down the road going to maybe do some cooking competition as
That
a
might be
fundraiser.
good. As a fundraiser, always for the fundraisers. Yeah.
But we want people to come here. Tell us the hours you're open and.
We're open for lunch and dinner. We're about to open for lunch on Saturdays too, for college football season. Adding another TV to the dining room. Just, we're here anyway. Let's just have everybody in here and having a good time. But the getting involved part in the community and the restaurant stuff, I always tried to live. My dad had said early on, anything worth doing is worth overdoing. So if you're going to go into it and you're going to do it, just with everything you can. And I've tried to do that.
Well, he succeeded, don't you think?
He has.
Great. Well, thank you. And Sunday brunch is one of your big times too.
11
right?
to 2, yes. Best French toast ever.
And very quickly describe it. I mean, it's awesome.
It's French croissants. We use the really big ones. It's more of a custard than a milk batter. Lots of powdered sugar on that. And with all the great food we have, I get stopped on the street more for that. For that dish than any other dish. And I'm like, it's French toast.
It brings tears to your eyes.
You saw the seafood riscata and you're talking French toast. But, the heart wants what the heart wants.
Absolutely.
And
Comfort food.
and they want comfort food with a lot of maple syrup on it.
Well,
So,
congratulations.
thank you so much. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
your time.
And thank you for joining us.